State Fair raw vegetables pedicures for the transformed RJ Choppy. What an intro for the head coach of America's team, Mike McCarthy, joining us on 105.3 The Fan. Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Good morning. My goodness, am I on the right show here?
Whoa, I mean,
oh my God, what's going on? I didn't know what you guys were talking about.
I mean, when was the last time you had a pedicure?
Not this week. It's been a while. Been a while.
But you have had one recently.
No, not recently.
Yes,
not recently.
Probably summertime.
Okay, summertime.
I have three daughters, so I mean, it's
got to. Then.
Oh yeah,
they
do.
So
it
that's
for
kind of, if you want to spend quality time, that's kind of what they want to do. So,
have you been to the State Fair of Texas ever?
No, I haven't.
Okay,
no, I haven't. I hear it's unbelievable. I know a lot of people rave about it, so just haven't had the opportunity.
And then RJ has gotten some bad advice or some bad feedback from his physician.
Yeah. So I've got like fatty liver and stuff. So I'm on this
spleen,
a large spleen. So
alcohol.
I'm on this alcohol. I know it's a problem. I'm on this like health kick, and I'm eating raw vegetables. Do you have a preferred raw vegetable that you like to snack on? Like I've got bell pepper and cucumber right now in my hand.
Oh, okay. You mean for snacking, or
just to snack around, or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a carrots and hummus snacker. That's my favorite snack.
Traditional hummus or roasted?
All right,
pepper?
let's get to the football team. Mike McCarthy here on DFW Sports Station. Are you finally relieved that you are seeing the end of the road for Dak Prescott questions since he's playing Sunday?
Yeah, I wouldn't say relieved. I'm just excited for Dak. I mean, I think anytime one of your players goes through the rehab process to return to play. I mean, you see these men in here every single day, just doing whatever they can to get back. I mean, and our medical staff does a tremendous job with that. So I'm just excited to see him return and get out there and compete.
How's the zip on the ball? Did it look any different than training camp?
No, he throws a heavy ball, and I think he's yesterday was the first padded practice, and frankly it was more about the team periods, being around the action in the pocket, and just those are the impulses that you can't really implement or emulate in the rehab process. So those are the things he really needs. But he's throwing the ball just fine.
Coach, how do you trust a player like for the things that your medical staff can't quantify? Dak's soreness after throwing 40 or 50 balls, just in general, that there has to be a gray area where you actually trust the player. How tough can that be sometimes when you know that they always want to play?
Well, I just think once again, there's a lot of conversation, there's a lot of planning goes into what our players do every single day. So and Dak's very regimented in his approach and everything he does. So I mean it's we're well aware how much he's been throwing and the things that he's doing, away from the facility. So that's all part of the return to play process. And I you may work as much as Dak, but no one works more than he does. So and you just keep in tune with that. But the practice part of it is always the last hurdle. I mean, because those are the timing and just getting in sync with your perimeter players again. Feeling the pass rush. Making the protection adjustments, just doing all those things at full speed, and you just can't get enough of that because go back to training camp. He had it the whole training camp and really was playing at an extremely high level. So we just want to try to do everything we can to get back to that.
Mike McCarthy here on The Fan. So the big debate, which RJ and I are on the same page on for once. What type of offense, what type of football are the Cowboys going to play with Dak back? Complementary football, playing to your defense. I don't really understand, Coach, what all that really means. What does that mean to you, playing to your defense and complementary football with Prescott's return?
Well, I think the biggest thing is, you're talking about an approach. Complementary football is an approach and the identification of situations in the game, as far as where you tilt the aggressiveness of your decisions. And, and that's just the whole, it doesn't matter who the quarterback or who's playing. It's just, we came out of last season and we had extreme high production on offense and I've done this in the past too. So when you're number one in the league on offense, you have to play with a level of openness, particularly in the drop back phase, as far as your attempts, and it's just the reality of this league. But it also can create more stress on your defense, because you get into more shootouts and things like that. So, and the one area we needed to improve on both sides of the ball was in the run game. So running the football and run defense. So it's just really play into our training is frankly was what we want to do, because it keeps the games more in balance. You won't see the trend line won't be as many peaks and valleys. And I think anytime you can have consistency throughout your team is better. I mean, if you just look at rankings, I mean, some of the best teams I've coached is when both the offense and the defense were in the top 10. They necessarily don't need to be both in the top 5. It's, when one can play to the other, because there's always weeks that one's going to have to pick up the slack for the other. And that's what a complementary football team looks like.
Wow, good explanation.
Yeah. So there are situations and seasons where you go in, you're like, we want to I know it sounds odd, but we want to purposely score less points.
Right.
Oh, see, I'll tell you what. Is that what you got out of that?
That's 100% what I got out of it.
Yeah, you better listen to your doctor.
I obviously don't. That's why I'm in this situation.
I think you're slipping already. You better check in.
No, Coach, that wasn't.
That's not what it means.
That wasn't from you. That wasn't from you,
No.
Mike. We've been having that discussion with other dum-dums up here in this building, where they're like, I think we'd prefer the Cowboys to score 24 because that would
Instead
mean
of 30.
time of possession and taking care of the football. And we're like, you don't want to score less points, right? Wouldn't that come with?
Oh yeah,
That's what we were talking about.
Yeah, we love being in the 30s. I think anytime if the defense holds them less than 17 and the offense scores more than 24. There's some common analytical goals that apply over the historical balance of this league, and obviously just the way the scoring the last 10 years has gone up. I mean, we all know that it's down this year, and for other reasons, I think. But so we're in tune with that. I mean, I've done this a long time, and we have goals that are really done off of historical values that both the offense and defense obtain to, whether it's missed assignments, mental errors, ball security. So these are things we really try to stay on top of, because it all feeds into being a balanced football team.
Mike McCarthy joining us here on 105.3 The Fan. The Lions offense, it is, I mean, outside of the New England game, it's been, just a shootout kind of team. What have you noticed that's different about their offense this year compared to what it was last year?
Well, I'll just say this, they get excellent balance, all the way through their offense. I mean, if you look at, obviously the quarterback's extremely productive. They got two dynamic backs. I mean, I really like their 1-2 punch with Swift and Jamal Williams. Two really good tackles, excellent center. They got good tight end, good perimeter players. So I mean, it's a very balanced offense, and they do a really good job conception. I mean, if you look at their statistics of run and pass and situational, they've done a good job with their self scout. I mean, they're pretty balanced all the way through. So they make you. There's not a lot of tips and mannerisms going into this game, and on top of that, they're coming out of a bye week, so we're expecting more unscattered looks than we probably would see at this time of year. So this is a big challenge for our defense.
Do you think, speaking of defense, did Philadelphia do something to Micah to kind of neutralize him? It looked like he wasn't as impactful in that game as he has been in just about every other game he's played.
I wouldn't say what they did to neutralize him. I think it's just really their offense. I mean, their quarterback's a primary run threat. Mm-hmm. And when you go up against offenses like that, I mean, they're different than Baltimore, but it's you play differently, and your assignment actually when Micah was in the open end position playing the surf technique, I don't know if there's anybody who can play it any better than he does. So I mean, I wouldn't say that, because I mean, you don't really get the. I think when people look at Micah, they go right to sacks. How many sacks did he have in a game? And that's not a drop back passing team. I mean, if Philadelphia would prefer to go through the whole game and never drop back and pass, they'd love to stay in the action game. So yeah, I would say it's as much about that as it's really the type of game that we were in.
Coach, I know a lot of people in your position don't believe in moral victories, but just one more thing on that Philly game, sitting there 20-0, backup quarterback on the road, undefeated team, and y'all fight all the way back. That's the reason we came in here on Monday, still feeling really, really good about the resolve that y'all showed. Did you look at it like that in any way after the game?
I mean, I love the fight of the team, and frankly, I think a lot of times when you get in those situations, and this is clearly after the fact. I mean, it's just like your how many points you want to score question. You don't want to be down 20-0, but I tell you what, it's a great spot to be in to learn from, and that's really was the message at halftime. It was just like, hey, this is exactly what it feels like to get punched in the jaw. It's a great place to be, and this is how we're going to respond. And I just, once again, this team, the competitive spirit, the play style is a huge strength of ours, and we just weren't as clean, emotionally in some particular spots, and that's really it. I mean, the ball security. I mean, being -3 and still having a potentially position to go win the game is, I think that's a real credit to our football team.
And then, Coach, before we let you go, don't know how much you even know about it since it happened basically overnight. Christian McCaffrey traded to a team you know pretty well in the San Francisco 49ers. Any thoughts on the McCaffrey deal?
Well, I mean, obviously an incredible talent, and and I think obviously it's probably a very good day in San Francisco. I'm sure they're excited about it.
When do you get your news? Like, how do you catch up on whatever you feel like you need to know around the rest of the sports world? When does that happen for you?
I just listen to 105.3 The Fan.
All right.
What tell him.
Walk off.
Boom.
What a walk.
Yes. He just boomed us.
Boom with the walk. That might go more viral. That might drop the mic.
Drop the mic.
I should probably get a day off next week. What do you think? I mean,
why would you want to do that? You were already late today. What was your excuse for being late?
Whoa! I was late. You were late. I've been sitting here since 6:15 waiting for you to call.
Oh,
see, blame Joey. This is Joey's fault.
What a walk off!
Joey,
Drop the mic. That might go more viral than what y'all did to me last week, talking about the Navy offense. Coach, thank you so much for delivering the gold. As always, good luck on Sunday.
All right, man. Take care.